Welcome to another great episode of Let's Keep It Real podcast. I'm here with Mario. This is Austin. Today we're going to be talking about a pretty good topic, and that's forgiveness. And what does it mean to have forgiveness for yourself? I feel like a lot of people they don't forgive themselves a lot. They need like that satisfaction of somebody else forgiving them for something that they did. But honestly, it sticks with you a lot more if they never give you that satisfaction. They tell you that they forgive you. What do you feel? How do you feel about this topic?
I feel like you definitely need to forgive yourself more. People, it's okay to have people like forgive like you for things that you've done, but like you need to forgive yourself for things and you need to prioritize that first. You don't want to look to people always as a sense of like, oh, like I need to listen to what they say and I need to care about what they say, because that's no way to live your life. From somebody that can personally speak on this, and I think you could too. You need to forgive yourself sometimes. You need to get up and you need to keep going. Forgive and forget. We don't live in the past. We live in the present and we look forward to the future. And I think more people need to forgive themselves and realize that there is more to life and that we got to keep on going no matter what.
Yeah, and exactly. Like, I feel like a lot of people hold things to themselves and
They try to hold themselves accountable.
yeah, accountable for everything instead of giving themselves forgiveness of the things that they've done. And just having that forgiveness, like it takes away all those bad situations or like situations you always think about.
The stress.
Yeah, stress. You're in total control of all of that. Like there's nobody you need to hear from that will tell you more about having forgiveness than yourself. Just forgiving, like, dang, I messed up, like, but forgiveness, you always get better if you keep forgiving.
Yeah, it's like it's all right. It's all right to mess up. It's all right to make mistakes. It's all right to say things you don't mean, as long as like you can. Well, let me clarify that. Like, as long as you are able to like say, hey, this is a mistake and I shouldn't do this again, and sure, in that moment you should look for forgiveness from somebody else, because it's like, hey, you said something wrong. But in general, you need to find the forgiveness within yourself too, because you made a mistake and you don't want to beat yourself up over that, because that's no way you want to go about something, and that's no way you want to go about life. Just you just gotta really just keep going and persevering through whatever it may be, and you gotta keep forgiving. Because if we don't forgive, we don't forget, and that resides deep within us, deep within our soul. And before you know it, it eats you up, and it feels like there's no more light, there's no spark anymore, and that flame that you had once in your heart has been blown out and it has vanished and has been encapsulated by darkness.
Yeah, man, I feel like exactly what you said is completely right, and that I feel like a lot of people just need to love themselves more, and the biggest like thing they can do for themselves to love themselves more is just give them more forgiveness and having that talk with themselves like, yeah, I messed up, but I'm going to forgive myself for it and I'm going to try harder at it. And I feel like that exactly resides what you were saying about how like that stuff just like takes over you and you feel like you can't get out of it, but really it's just your own consciousness like saying like you can get out of it.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy, but you can for sure get out of that type of situation. I feel like more people need to be open to self-love. Because I feel like people more than anything have more self-hatred, and people just look at themselves in the mirror and they're like, oh, I don't love myself, I don't love the person that I am. Like, they're like, I hate myself. And that's something you won't just see with regularly in just like life too. You'll also see it in like the gym too. That's not just like a all well, it really is an all around thing now I think about it. It can be with anything, but I see it a lot in the gym. I know you do. I think a lot of people do, body dysmorphia, stuff like that, or
Or a
people
lot of
just don't.
Yeah, a lot of people are scared to go to the gym. I feel like they're just like, no, I don't want to work out because I just don't like the feeling of workout. But I really feel like they're just like, it's an unfamiliar place to them, and it's odd being in places you've never been before. But the gym is definitely not one to be afraid of, because I feel like anywhere you go, like it doesn't matter if you're 400, 300 pounds. If I see you working out in the gym, I'm gonna respect you more as a human being trying to get better than one just rotting away.
The gym is all about bettering yourself.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily about how you look. It's about bettering yourself. You know, you want to look great. You want to do all this too, but you mainly want to better yourself as a person because that's not because the main reason you go to the gym shouldn't be because oh I want to look better and have muscles. It should be because you want to better yourself. And if you better yourself, you know, you will have an easier time in life and before you know it things will be a lot simpler for you. And it's a good way of bettering yourself more than anything. And that's really what people need to look at and focus on when they go and do something like that because otherwise you are setting yourself up for failure and we want to set ourselves up for a success because otherwise where would we end up in life if we set each other up and ourselves up for nothing but failure.
Yeah, and if you set yourself up for failure, then every day is just gonna be exactly the same, and that's just not a way I would want to live life. I mean, I do feel like a lot of days are just exactly the same, and it gets kind of depressing. But if you have those certain times that you can spend for yourself, like taking care of yourself or treating yourself to like good food or working out and just things that I enjoy doing, like outside of that, like kind of like loneliness you get sometimes. But all that comes together, and one day it'll get better for sure if you just start like little building blocks at a time.
Yeah, for sure. Life can be repetitive at a lot of points. But what matters is can you break the cycle? Can you get out of that cycle that you're in? You know what I mean? You know, can you figure out a way to get out of that? You know, do you have to be stuck in that, you know? People do say there is an idea of like, oh, like the Matrix or thing like that. Like that's not a real thing. That's just not like it's just more so like how can you get out of this constant like repetitive repetition that you are going through in life where every day you are doing the same things. You know, it's just kind of like a set schedule thing. It's not that you're being repetitive. It's just that you have a set schedule when you do things and how everything goes in your life. But sometimes you need to take a break off of that and you just need to be yourself. Otherwise, you are going to end up finding yourself being unhappy more than anything. And I feel like I've really experienced this. And I feel like I'm really finally breaking the cycle again. You know, I'm going back to the gym again. I finally got myself back into the mindset where I just want to keep going and I want to lose more weight. And
Yeah, I feel like this concept of the repetitiveness. I feel like it kind of bases from laziness. Like, I definitely get like really lazy or like comfortable with. I'm more comfortable with
yeah,
certain things, so my day goes exactly the same every single day because I'm comfortable doing it. Like, I'm just doing things I'm more familiar of, and being an unfamiliar person is hard because you're gonna go on adventures and do things that you've never really know. But you just gotta stick to what you know. I feel like.
yeah, when you're unfamiliar with everything and you're unfamiliar with yourself, it is a very difficult time in life because you have like no sense of direction or you don't really know where you're going in life. And I feel like everybody needs to find a sense of direction. And I feel like what we've been talking about, you need to find that forgiveness, you need to find that self-love, and you need to get rid of that self-hatred, and you need to find a way to break the cycle. And you need to be you, and you need to do what you want to do. Because if you don't do what you want to do in life, then, you know, there's really no direction you're ever going to really find that you are really comfortable in going, and you're just going to end up at a dead end within yourself.
That's why you gotta break free of this cycle, guys. And this cycle is unfamiliar. It's an unfamiliar path. You're not used to it. But I kid you not, just doing something you've never done before and getting comfortable with that will break that cycle from just everyday life and doing the same thing every day. And something that I wish I did more of like right now, actually. Like just talking about this, I want to implement it in my life because I do feel like every day has kind of been the same. And I feel like I just need to find more opportunities in my schedule to do things I'm unfamiliar with.
Yeah, I feel like I need to do that too. I feel like that's something I struggle with too. Definitely. You know, I've had options to go do things that I've never done before, but I just have just been hesitant and haven't wanted to do them. And, you know, I regret that. But, you know, it's all just going to be kind of like a thing of progression where I'll eventually be able to do it and I'll eventually break the cycle. You know, I'm already in like the first stages of breaking the cycle, I feel like, and I feel like I'm on my way of being out of it. And I'm feeling more happier. I'm feeling more motivated. You know, I'm really tired because I'm breaking my usual cycle, and you know, I'm kind of stressing out a little bit about it. But it's all gonna be worth it. You know, just like let it all work out. You know.
Yeah, and it's okay to be like stressed out about something or nervous about doing these things, because as long as you know they're in a good purpose. If anything, they're only temporary anyways. Because if you don't like it, then just don't do it again.
I think that about sums up everything. This was another episode of Let's Keep It Real podcast, and that will be all from us today.